Writing, not singing, is what gave Shontelle her big break into the music industry. One song she wrote in particular blew up so big, it made people curious to see what else she could do. And so began her singing career. The comparisons to another very successful Bajan beauty that came before her were obvious and unavoidable. Then, just when her career was starting to gain some momentum, business politics and bad timing caused everything to fall apart. Let's find out whatever happened to Bajan's singer-songwriter, Shontelle. Shontelle Lane, one of three sisters, was born October 4th, 1985, on the beautiful tropical island of Barbados in the parish of St. James. Her early musical influences were American favorites Stevie Wonder, Whitney Houston, and Michael Jackson, and also, of course, a lot of soca and calypso music. When she was young, she didn't have a lot of confidence about her singing abilities. She even went as far as hiding herself in a closet when she wanted to sing so no one would see or hear her. Or so she thought. One day, there was a knock on the closet door. It was her mother. She told Shontelle there was no point to being in a closet since everyone in the house and the people next door could hear her. So from then on, she started participating in any and everything she could: school choir, pageants, talent contests, and showcases. She also started writing her own songs. However, her academic and business-minded parents, fearful about the fickle entertainment industry, still discouraged her taking things to a professional level, so much of her teen years were spent getting straight A's and representing Barbados in international swimming and track and field events. She even had a lengthy stint as an Army cadet, where she was a drill sergeant over her friend Rihanna. Yes, that Rihanna. However, over time, her passion for music could no longer be suppressed. It was even in her genes. Her aunt just so happens to be popular Bajan singer Kim Derrick. She played a significant role in encouraging Shontelle to pursue a career in singing. While studying at university, Shontelle used what she was learning in her entertainment law courses to set up her own publishing company. She also found time to write the song that would win her numerous prestigious awards in her homeland and attract the attention of some big-wig music producers foreign, New York to be exact. Roll It Gal was a smash hit for British-born Bajan soca artist Alison Hinds, but little do people know, Shontelle wrote it. After the song blew up, so did her phone. Songwriter-producer duo Evan Rogers and Carl Sturken, who also happened to be Rihanna's managers, helped Shontelle secure a record deal with SRC Universal Motown. She began work on her debut album in early 2008, and by November, the wittily titled Shontelligence was released. The album name was a total fluke. She was hanging out in the studio with a bunch of people, waiting around for everything to get organized, when one person suggested to pass the time that they play a word game, trying to come up with as many words as they could with the letters of Shontelle's name. Her engineer was the clear winner when he came up with Shontelligence. Everyone loved it and thought it would make the perfect album title. Back in 2008, Shontelle spoke to Blues and Soul magazine about how she was able to overcome the typical obstacles people from her part of the world face to create the exact album she wanted, saying, "I just think I was lucky to have the opportunity to achieve what I wanted to achieve. Because stereotypically, when people know you're from the Caribbean, they expect reggae, soca, raga, or dancehall. You know, it's been a battle for a while for artists from the Caribbean to break out and show people that we can make all types of music, and that we're not just limited to those specific genres. So I basically said, guys, how about giving me a chance as a songwriter to experiment and blend different styles of music, so I can create something more mainstream?" And basically they said, go ahead. So that's what we did. And while I'm very happy that I did get to include elements of where I'm from, which is the music I grew up with in Barbados, I definitely say, for the most part, my record will come over as more or less a mainstream pop R&B album. The first single, T-Shirt, released the prior summer, only became a moderate hit, reaching number 36 on the Billboard Hot 100, but it did much better overseas. The album's second single, Stuck With Each Other, featuring her label mate Akon, didn't chart at all in the US, but it did end up on the soundtrack of the 2009 romantic comedy film Confessions of a Shopaholic. That same year, Shontelle also got the opportunity to go on tour in the UK as a supporting act for New Kids on the Block and Beyoncé. After the tours were over, Shontelle went back to the studio with a new mission. She wanted to experiment and change her original sound for the next project. Also around this time, she got a call from her old friend Rihanna, who needed help on a track for her next album. Shontelle would end up getting co-writer credit for that song, the smash hit Man Down, off her 5th studio album, Loud. Shontelle's second album, No Gravity, was released in September 2010. That title perfectly summed up her views on her life and career at that time. She wanted to keep climbing higher and to have nothing holding her down or holding her back. Impossible, the album's first single and her most successful to date, eventually rose to number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100. Two other singles were also released, but neither did very well. No Gravity would end up being Shontelle's last album at the time of the making of this video. The following year, she revealed that she was working on her 3rd studio album and a new single was on the way. She had also changed record labels and found a new home at Universal Republic. However, due to some restructuring, the label was shut down, and all their artists, Shontelle included, ended up transferring to the newly revived Republic Records. This would be a disastrous move for Shontelle's career, and for her life overall. More on this a little later. It was soon confirmed that the song Put Me on Blast would be the lead single from her new album, and the music video was already shot and ready to be debuted. The last information known about the album is that it was given a tentative 2013 release date, but the year ended without any further news about it. At the end of 2012, the Season 9 winner of the UK's X Factor, James Arthur, released his version of Impossible. Interestingly, it was far more successful on the charts and in sales than Shontelle's version, but that didn't bother her. She even reached out multiple times to James to congratulate him on its success. However, he never replied. By 2015, Shontelle had once again jumped ship to another label, but seemed to be very excited to start a new chapter. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, since on New Year's Eve, she reached out to her fans on Instagram in a lengthy post, revealing her feelings about the year being the most difficult and challenging of her life, professionally and personally. Fans didn't hear much from Shontelle in the years to follow, and apparently the reason had everything to do with the label hopping she did, starting with the move that landed her with Republic Records. In a very candid interview in early 2020, Shontelle spoke to online magazine Arabian Moda about what really happened, saying, "The industry began to tank around the release of my second album, No Gravity. Almost everyone at Motown Records was being fired, and I didn't even have a staff to work with on my music. Only big artists were getting support from the record label. I winded up with Republic Records, but the situation was far worse there, and no one took me seriously. I saw it as a complete waste of my time and parted ways with them too. I disappeared for a while to heal and rebuild myself. I feel so much better now and am back to work." She also touched on how all the upheaval in her career affected her personally, saying, "I experienced a major depressive episode. I felt like my entire life was taken away from me, and I didn't think I wronged anyone to deserve such mistreatment. It took a long while to get back into a healthy headspace and start from scratch. I don't expect much from people either. At times, I feel paranoid too, but I am working on myself every day." During her musical hiatus, Shontelle tried her hand at another passion, acting. She also left NYC for her native Barbados, where she is based today, to reconnect with family and friends. Her first single in several years, Remember Me, was released in March 2020, and she expects that it will end up on her eventual third album that she is in no rush to release. 2021 started off with a bang for Shontelle when she dropped her new freestyle, Tomorrow, in February. The song delves into some taboo topics such as racism, police brutality, and human rights. Her hope is that it will encourage people to discuss these important issues facing all of us in the world today. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video and subscribe for more amazing content. See you next time.